Breaking news, Nigerians. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the appeal over the Kano state governorship election tussle. And here we have it, my country people. The Supreme Court in Kano state reserves its judgment in the Kano Guba tussle. A 5-member panel of justice led by Iyan Okoro on Thursday, December 21st, reserved their judgment after hearing from the parties involved. To reserve judgment in a court indicates that, yes, the case has been put on hold at least for a while. After all, the parties had concluded their oral arguments, their presentations, and the court had received all of the written submissions. So, a reserved judgment could be rendered in days, weeks, or even months after the hearing. And in a judgment delivered on Friday, November 17th, a 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal upheld the tribunal's decision to sack Yusuf. The court held that Yusuf's party, the NNPP, breached the constitution by sponsoring Yusuf, who was not a party member. And then the appellate court ruled that the tribunal acted in the public interest, which and when it permitted the APC to tender papers during the trial, since the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had given the APC piecemeal access to the materials to undermine the petitioner's claim. And the court further determined that the 1999 Constitution, do not support Yusuf's lawyer Wole Olanipekun San contention that the APC should have included its candidate Yusuf Ganuwa as a party in the tribunal proceedings, because a candidate is allowed to be represented by his political party during the legal procedures. And here we have it. After 6 hours of fierce legal fireworks, the Supreme Court on Thursday in Abuja decided to reserve judgment in the Kano state governorship legal battle. And at the center of this legal battle are the New Nigerian People's Party, that's the NNPP, the All Progressive Congress, and their governorship candidates Kaba Yusuf and Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna. At the Thursday proceedings, the San, Chief Wole Olanipekun, had asked the Supreme Court to set aside the decisions of the appeal court and also the tribunal, which he also pleaded with 5-man apex court panel headed by Justice John Iyan Okoro to determine whether or not the guidelines of the INEC would be a basis for nullifying the election victory of a candidate who won the election by a margin of over 100,000. And the senior lawyer argued that this is the first time in the annals of election jurisprudence that an election was nullified on the grounds that, yes, the ballot papers were not signed or stamped at the back. Well, he said the INEC guidelines do not envisage and that the court would nullify an election based on INEC's purported failure to stamp the ballot papers on the back. I mean, after all, it's all INEC fault. Why would they fail to stamp these ballot papers before they are being taken to the election ground or even after the elections? Why were they not stamped? The governor's legal team maintained that its client membership of the NNPP is a pre-election matter. It is a matter of the party, and that the Court of Appeal lacked jurisdiction to entertain the matter. And then the judgment of the lower court is very unfair to the appellate court, and they've urged the judge to upturn it. And now at this point, the ballot papers were legal because they were issued by INEC officials itself, and nobody raised the legality or the illegality of the ballot. They tendered the ballot from the back, and nobody spoke against it. But in a counter-argument, the All Progressive Congress, that's the APC Council Chief Akin Olujimi, maintained that the electoral Act mandates INEC presiding officers to always stamp the back of ballot papers after the conclusion of the election to make them legal and lawful. So according to Olajimi, he said the findings of the tribunal were simply that the ballot papers were not signed at the back and not dated and not proceeded, and this really proceeded to cancel the elections where these ballot papers were used. Now, the question is, whose fault is this? Is it on the side of the INEC officials or on the side of the NNPP party? He said the electoral irregularities are manifest on the disputed ballot papers. So, on the issue of party membership, Olujimi argued that the NNPP registrar did not show the name of Abba Yusuf on it. The counsel for INEC, Abubakar Balariba, Mr. Abubakar Mahmoud Balaribi, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, supported the argument of Olanipekun. He submitted that the decisions of the lower courts were flawed, and then Mahmoud really talked about a lot of things where he said they were ballot papers that were issued by INEC. So it is not the duty of the voter, those that are voting, to check if these ballot papers were signed or not. But it is the duty of the party agents to check if these ballot papers were signed and stamped on that day. This is how far the matter has gone. Mahmoud contended that the membership of a political party is clearly an internal affair of a political party, and Abba Yusuf's name was forwarded to INEC even before the election, while his party's membership card was tendered in evidence at the tribunal. So, my country people, this is it. They've been arguing this issue of Abba Yusuf, the cancellation of his election. He was declared a winner, and afterwards the court said no. See, there's an issue here. The issue is that they were citing over 160,000 invalid votes due to missing signatures and stamp on the ballot papers. Now, fingers are pointing. Whose fault is this? Is it the fault of the winner of the election? Is it the fault of the gubernatorial candidate, Abba Yusuf? Was it his fault? Was it the fault of the INEC officials or the party agents? The APC had now challenged the election on the outcome. They challenged the election outcome at the tribunal. The alleged electoral malpractice as a result of this 1,600 invalid votes due to these irregularities that transpired at the elections. And that is what they are using against the NNPP at the court. But the Court of Appeal in Abuja had dismissed the appeal filed by the NNPP candidate against the judgment of the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which then declared the APC flag bearer Nasiru Yusuf as the winner of the governorship election that was held on March 18 because of this irregularity that transpired. But we all know that the people of Kano State are not taking this judgment lightly at all. Some even protested over this very judgment. How can an NNPP governorship candidate be declared the winner, and at the end of the day the court said no, he is not the winner, and then brings up another person, an APC governorship candidate, over irregularities that these votes were that the ballot papers were not stamped, therefore making his own vote invalid and making him the loser of the election. So, my country people, what are your thoughts on this issue? Guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.